Out of the blue, about 2 months ago, all of a sudden, our Secretary of State, Blinken, issues a press release barring certain Albanians from entering the country. And I was like, where did this come from? All of a sudden, we're going after Albanians?
While Joe Biden was posturing his presidency as the last line of defense of democracy against an opposition that he said would undermine the consent of the governed, his State Department was spending an unusual level of time and effort to spearhead a legal assault on a political minority in Albania, nearly 5,000 miles away. Although Prime Minister Edi Rama and his Socialist Party had safely controlled the government of Albania since 2013, Biden and his allies, both inside and outside of the White House, exerted years of efforts to legally blacklist Albania's conservative opposition leader from political practice, and ultimately prosecute and incarcerate the octogenarian former Prime Minister Sali Berisha, though strangely, not in that order. And when pressed by the United States Congress, Secretary of State Antony Blinken didn't seem to have any answers.
You recently announced sanctions on the former president of Albania, Sali Berisha. For many, this seemingly came out of nowhere. What specific information can you share with the committee at this time to justify this dramatic move?
In his case, the case developed through the normal process, including our lawyers, and I'd be happy, if it's helpful, happy to share with you exactly what went into that.
It's an open question as to why the State Department has been pushing, essentially pro-Soros foreign policy in terms of, the attitude that Albania has taken and the State Department has taken against Mr. Berisha.
Although Albania succumbed to nearly half a century of communist rule right as the rest of its neighbors did when the Iron Curtain fell, Albania's dictatorship proved unusually insular, still, when compared to the rest of the East Bloc. Democratic revolutionaries like Berisha and his allies, belonging to what is today known as Albania's Democratic Party, made the country the last to be liberated at the end of the Cold War. But with Rama's Socialist Party back in power for over a decade now, Albania maintains the lowest GDP per capita of any other NATO member, while becoming the primary trafficker of illegal drugs in all of Europe. A drug trade that Rama has been closely linked to.
The State Department has, essentially the Biden administration more broadly, turned a blind eye to Edi Rama being the top of a essentially narco-trafficking state.
Albania's devolution into what Bill describes as Europe's premier autocratic narco-state is not a consequence, but a success of America's intervention in the country, and the State Department's alignment with George and Alexander Soros. In an echo of the weaponization of the American legal system we would see used against Donald Trump, both the Obama administration and the Soros family's Open Society Foundation initiated judicial reform in Albania in 2015, with American taxpayers allocating millions of dollars to fund Albania's new kangaroo courts.
You have this strange, best brother from another mother, as they call each other, between Alex Soros and Prime Minister Rama. And yeah, the Soros people control a great deal in Albania. Why is Alex Soros visiting Albania multiple times a year?
The Special Structure Against Corruption and Organized Crime, or the SPOC Court, was formally founded in 2019. And with the backing of the Biden administration, Rama's government has succeeded in subjecting all three of the country's opposition leaders to criminal investigation or prosecution. The primary target of this campaign was Berisha. Without even producing a criminal charge against Berisha, the Soros-funded SPOC locked up Berisha in house arrest for 333 days. But it wasn't Rama who initiated the criminal proceedings against his domestic opponent. It was Biden's Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, who legally declared Berisha persona non grata in 2021 without so much of a suggestion of an actual criminal accusation. Why did U.S. taxpayers fund the legal assault on Albania's democratic opposition? The Washington Examiner traveled half a world away to sit down with the man the United States government tried and failed to silence. This is Sali Berisha's story in his own words.